Well, hi, it's Jim Owens with Performance Strategies Group. I'm sitting outside today again in my backyard office and trying to bring you a few words of encouragement and follow up on some of the other posts we've made or videos that I've made here in the last few days as it relates to resiliency. And yesterday I mentioned the fact that we can use this time, we can either spend it or we can invest it. And based on the research I've read and my own experience with people, there are a lot of folks in the world who are, well, what do we say here, discontented with their professional lives. They're not happy in their roles. They consider their life a bit of a drudgery. And some of that is just a part of work. Work's hard. Otherwise, they call it easy. And in my experience, most things are harder than we expect them to be and take longer to accomplish many of the things we want to accomplish. And so now when you have the time to invest in yourself, particularly in your spiritual growth, your spiritual resiliency, and again, I don't define for people what it is that spiritual growth and development is. I know what it is for me, and I know what it is in some of my closest friends and what other people say. It may be church, it may be the Bible, it may be your congregation in some place of worship, but there are a lot of other places other than on your day of worship that you can build your spiritual resiliency. And I pulled out a stack of books this morning that have meant a lot to me. And the first one I just wanted to share a little bit with you about is called 30 Lessons for Living, Tried and True Advice from America's Wisest, or from the Wisest Americans. And it's a book that compiles the research of an investigator at Cornell University, in which they've interviewed many people over many years, I think mostly over the age of 65. And essentially they're asking them questions about, if you had your life to live over again, what would you do differently? And there are a lot of things that are important to these folks as they reflect back. One thing they said is they would forgive more. They'd be more forgiving. They'd let go of petty grudges in and amongst their friends and family. They wouldn't harbor that kind of resentment, because it really weighs us down, right? You've probably felt betrayal at some point in your life. You've probably dealt with someone who has misjudged you or misunderstood you. We all have. It's a part of the human condition. But that's one of the essential parts of this book that I think has such a profound spiritual value, to learn to forgive. And the Grace Project and some of the Forgiveness Project, which I think is run by Stanford University, and some of the other programs you'll see in prisons where victims and the people who have perpetuated crimes of violence against families reconcile themselves to one another by taking responsibility and offering forgiveness. That's a choice, not a feeling, so to speak. And that forgiveness is what empowers us to not drag it around the rest of our lives. It doesn't impede us. Another thing that is essential in the book is the willingness to take. They wish they'd taken more risk in life. They had traded comfort, parent comfort and security for a paycheck every 2 weeks. It doesn't mean everybody should go out and quit their jobs. Certainly right now, most of us would like to have income producing opportunities and get a job. But it's a time when you can reflect on whether or not you're investing or spending your life. It may be just a different career change, a career path, and many of us will be forced into that. I'm not naive to the fact that being in a small business right now will be a challenge for me. It already has been. As you know, I speak to several times a month, if not more often than that. And I've had several events canceled or pushed out, and hopefully those folks will still want to do or have me come and speak to their groups when the time comes. But if not, I need to be prepared for that. I need to be spiritually prepared for the challenges that I might face. And that book, 30 Lessons for Living, had a profound effect on my willingness to step out and take some risks to do something I felt really was important for me, and hopefully for the folks that I have invested in their lives and in their businesses, to create some value in their lives. At the heart of my life, after reading a book called The Great Work of Your Life by a guy named Stephen Arterburn, I think that's his name. No, that's not right. He's another author, but I'll find it. At any rate, the great work of your life, I began to reflect on what my role and mission was in life, and at the core of it, I think it's encouragement, and hopefully that's what I am doing by posting some of these videos. A couple other books that I would just recommend for your spiritual development. Obviously, people in the Bible Belt profoundly about the Bible and its source of great wisdom and comfort. But there's another book called The Most Good You Can Do by Peter Singer, who is an ethicist, I guess. He's been an animal rights activist. And while I don't agree with all of what he says, I think that it is profoundly important that we reflect right now on what good we can do in the world. Little acts of kindness and grace can multiply themselves for many, many years. I've also been a student of Thomas Merton over the years. His book, Thoughts in Solitude, is exceptional. And the last thing I would suggest to you is to read Emily Seppala's book on happiness. There are a couple of books on happiness that I've read over the last couple of years that have had a profound impact on me. So invest some time in taking care of your spiritual growth over the next couple of days and weeks, and hopefully we'll all get back to whatever the new normal is sometime very soon. I hope you have a great day. I'm Jim Owens. If you want to know more about us and our company and the work we do, you can find us on the web at psghsv.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can also find me at Jim Owens Writes and Speaks on Instagram, and also at Performance Strategies Group on Instagram, as well as our Facebook page by the same name. So until tomorrow, probably, I'll talk to you then. I hope you have a great day and that you're all taking proper care of yourselves. Take care.